So HBO has a two-part documentary on Billy Joel. It's called "And So It Goes," exploring the life of the musician, singer-songwriter, and his distinctive career. Is going to explore never-seen footages and different things. I remember reading books about him, followed him quite a bit back in the day. I remember he had to deal with some personal issues because his manager took all his money, his net worth, and all the different things that's going on in his personal life. Um, One of those artists that you pretty much have seen if you follow him, but then there might be other sets to him. It's interesting how he's kind of like spoken about how he always had this grassroots underdog kind of vibe. I remember once he was having a live show and he was put off by people with their cell phones all out because that to him that wasn't really his era of thing, but that's what he had to deal with. You know, overcoming a lot of different things and adversities, but you know, very talented singer songwriter. The 52nd Street, that whole era of him, I like that late 70s, early 80s. He had that edge about him, which I liked back in the day. He definitely was repping New York. New York State of Mind is still one of my favorite songs. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, Just the Way You Are, Big Shot, Still Rock and Rolling Me, Pressure. Um, and quite a few songs off the top. You know, I always dug his music. I listened to him quite a bit growing up back in the day. You know, remember I bought his Innocent Man album back then. They had a lot of hits. That's back when everybody had like 5, 6 hits after Michael Jackson with Thriller. Everybody had like about 4, 5 hits off their albums, and he was one of them that had a lot of hits. Um, you know, he had, it was. I definitely dug a lot of his musicality and what have you. Now, the other sides of him is gonna come out, and they're gonna talk about, personal conflicts and different things. And it's going to be very telling. I expect it to be pretty detailed. It won't be nothing that'll get him in no trouble, though. You know that they're not going to air nothing. They documentaries are funny. Used to be a positive fluff piece for artists, but now they can get you in some trouble. I don't think he'll have any problems, though. I think he'll be all right, though. But anyway, um, looking forward to seeing it, though. And there's certain things that already kind of go in. One of the things I always notice about him is he doesn't like doing a lot of duets or working with a lot of people. So that was kind of ironic that he did USA for Africa and he did that participating because usually that's not usually his MO. He's a pretty low key private cat um, into his artwork, into different things. If I'm not mistaken, he put out his first record, I want to say like a year ago for the first time since 93. You know, I remember that's like River of Dreams, the one he had in 93, and he hadn't put out a record in a long time. But then again, when you go to his show, there's a standard 12 songs that people gonna want, and he's got them. And like he's called himself the piano man, he had hits. So you know what you're gonna use to get with him. But it should be an interesting documentary about a guy that definitely was one of the most important artists of the last 45, 50 years, and has left you know, um, like he said in my life, he was kind of matter of fact. He had a certain edge and aggressive to him, which made him somebody that people, definitely gravitate towards. So, and he kind of doesn't get his due. He kind of doesn't get his due in a way because he wrote some big songs that covered, you know, but he never quite gets mentioned among some of the best. But he definitely got a catalog that can definitely hit though. Anyway, let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like it. Hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.